We're joined today by Bruce Maluish, Managing Director of VRX Silica. Bruce, thanks for your time.
Thanks, Dave. We'll talk about the foundry industry.
That's right, Bruce. We are going to talk about the foundry industry and the casting and how silica sand plays a key role in the development of that industry.
It's another industry that's not particularly well understood, even though you got it sitting in front of you in your car under the hood. Heads, blocks and manifolds are all cast, and they're cast in moulds. And those moulds are made by silica sand. So silica sand is a key component in creating these moulds. It's mixed with often a binder material, typically a clay or a resin, to form a mould. And then the molten mixture, in cast iron in this case, is carefully poured into these moulds. But the preparation of the mould will determine the quality of the finish. You'll notice the finish on a block in your car is a fairly rough finish. So the moulds, it's not like precision moulding. It's often with cast iron, but it can be huge motors. Marine engines often might have 20 ton of iron in those. And because of the latent heat within those, the pouring of that molten metal, it often destroys or turns the mould almost into glass. So they have to smash the mould to get the engine out. So, and very difficult to reuse it because it's been affected by very high temperatures. But generally, the mould is made by packing sand around a pattern, and it'll be for whatever the component is. And it's a replica of the final metal part that you want to create. The pattern's typically made of wood or ceramics or plastics. It doesn't really matter because once the silica sand is compacted and shaped around the pattern, you remove the original pattern. So after that, silica sand mould's placed in a casting flask, which is an outer casing to hold it all together. And you fill it with molten metal. And this could be, anything from iron, aluminium, brass, copper. Lots of metals are poured into these sand moulds. And the main reason you're using sand here is because of its high melting temperature. So once it's cooled, you can either split the mould or, in the case of big marine engines, smash the mould to get the desired shape from the internals of the mould. So sometimes they can use vibration or water jets to remove the sand, and often in those cases they can in fact reuse the sand. It breaks down a certain component, but it gets reused. The largest casting or foundry industry in the world is in Korea. The fastest growing foundry industry in the world is India. BMW, Audi now make most of their heads, blocks and manifolds are cast in India. It's not a real clean industry, but it's getting cleaner. And most of the emissions are in fact from the heating of the metal itself, not the use of the sand. But within Korea, they probably use 2 to 3 million tonnes a year of sand for casting. Sort of an interesting industry, and it's once again
another insight into how silica sand can be used in a key industry on a global scale. Bruce, thanks for your time.
Thanks, Dave.